Hello, you're welcome to Motherhood and Beyond. This is Monami and
Obapa Queer.
oh, grrr.
Hi guys, we hope you're doing well. We hope you enjoyed our last episode. We hope our guests helped you to, or not helped you to change your mind, but helped to inform you in your decision making when it comes to the corona vaccine. This week, when this episode comes out, it'll be 2 days to Valentine's Day. So we thought we'd give you a Valentine's edition and talk more about us and our significant others rather than about the children. So today is about us and the boys or the guys. We had wanted them to join us today, but due to scheduling difficulties, we've decided to add them in at a later stage, and hopefully you'll get to meet them and you'll not love them as much as we love them, but you'll love them as much as you love us, I guess. Does that make sense?
You at least like them.
Yeah. Not love, I guess. Love is a strong word. You'll like them as much as we love them. I don't know. You'll like them. So yeah. Right, so let's get into it. Mon, how did you and Bubba, Boo, Bay, Mr. How did y'all meet? Where did it go down? How did y'all meet?
Me and my partner, we've been together for a while now, over 4 years.
4 years.
That's my longest ever relationship. I was always like 8 months kind of girl. 8 months was like peak, One time I think I had a year and a little bit, and I was like, ooh, we didn't get to a year and a half.
Maybe.
So, yeah, we didn't get to a year and a half. Yeah. So yeah, we met. I'm not gonna tell you guys exactly how we met, but we did meet, and it wasn't through mutual friends. It wasn't through family. It wasn't through anything. It was through something special, which I think I'll give that information another day. Yeah. But the first time we started talking, right, and he was like, "Oh, we need to meet," obviously like me and see each other and then whatever. I hope I'm saying the right things because I don't even know what I'm talking about. So we scheduled a date, right? And I was living in London then, and he was living in London as well, but we're in like different parts of London, so it was kind of long travel. But I was like, I'm too fine. I ain't trying to travel all the way to nowhere to be guys. So you have to travel all the way to somewhere that is closer to me. So we scheduled a date and we met at Costa. And that was the first time I met him personally, physically, in person. And when I met him, I was like, I think I can do this one. Those times, yeah, we had jokes. Like we'll talk about guys like we're guys, isn't it? Like we talk about guys like we're some pimps or something.
Absolutely.
It was crazy how we used to the kind of conversation we used to have about guys like we were bad,
I wasn't bad. I was an angel.
Yeah, it was. But we met and I was like, I think I can do this one. Because funny enough, personality-wise, he was my usual type. You know what I mean? But appearance and certain areas, he wasn't my usual type. You know what I mean? But I was like, I think I can do this one. Let's see how this goes. So we met. We had a date. It was Costa, Costa Coffee. And honestly, I'm one of them girls that would say like, I ain't gonna spend money on a guy on the first date. That's for sure. Like I'm not doing it. But when we met, I paid for the latte.
Okay.
That was the first time.
For your own or both of y'all's?
For both of us.
Oh, child.
I went and got the latte and I actually paid for it. that was
this one. I like it so much, I'm going to pay for a latte.
It was more of like, I think because we were both very relaxed, you know what I mean? And it seemed like he appeared like, a very nice person. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So he could have easily gone to the friend zone, innit? But because he appeared like a very nice person and he
Mm.
was cute. I was like, oh, he's good looking, he's tasty,
Mm-hmm.
but different, isn't it?
Mm.
So I, I got a latte. I paid for it. Look, I bet you God was up there thinking, oh Lord, what did I just do? You know, and we got to talking. So after the talking
Mm.
and the coffee, blah blah, we're supposed to. He was like, "Oh, should we go to the cinema?" And I was doing the what's his name? The 3 months rule. What was his name? Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve
Steve
Harvey.
Harvey's three
Think like
months
a
rule.
man.
Think like a man. Don't take him to your house. Don't go somewhere crazy with them on the first date. Don't let them know where you live. You know all that kind of stuff. So he was like, "Oh, let's go cinema or go get something to eat." I was thinking, dude, I'm hungry. I want to watch a movie. But I sure as hell ain't going with you because I don't want you to think like I met her and I bought her food and
Yeah.
like my independent woman ego was kicking
Mm.
So um sometimes he's like, you were crazy because when I met you and I was like, let's go cinema, you were like, no, I'm not going. I seemed like I was gonna do something to you in the cinema. I was like, I'm a lady. I need to obviously, although I wanted to go to cinema and I thought you seemed like a nice guy, I still had to put up the front, and I had to, let you know that, yeah, I'm the lady,
Mm.
so don't think I like you like that. Like,
You need
chill,
to
bro.
calm down.
You
Mm-hmm.
know. So this was November, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think middle ending November. That was the first time we met, right? And afterwards we just started talking because he was very busy working, like he worked hard. He was
Mm-hmm.
very busy working, and I was also busy working, and it's going to Christmas, so everyone was like busy. So we didn't meet again, but we
Mm-hmm.
would talk, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and yeah, so that's how we met. That's how we met. And what made me like him was like when we started talking,
Mm.
he was very straightforward, honest,
Mm.
straightforward and honest. Like he was like, Africans, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have perceptions and misconceptions about certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we started talking, he was like, I've got tattoos. I was like,
Okay.
and like I like I like tattoos. So I don't know what the hell you want to say, like you're trying to say. And
Yeah.
he was like, oh, so he started basically he introduced himself after saying hi. He started talking about the things maybe he thought would put me off, or he
That's
thought,
so
you
crazy. I
know,
think that's why they get on, but carry on. Carry on.
or maybe the things he knows like Africans don't really approve of, to see
Yeah.
whether you will like it or not.
Mm.
But I'm a different kind of African, isn't it? Like I'm not saying
That's
every
because
African is
we're
like
Afro
that.
fusion.
Exactly. So when you say I've got tattoos, I'm like, ooh,
Okay.
that's
Can
cool.
you show me?
Okay,
Let me see.
you know, I want to see it. Where so and that's one thing I liked about him from before we met, because I was like, oh, usually you meet guys and they try to hide who they are, they pretend.
Mm.
But he was very straightforward, like this, that. And I think what also helped was because at that point I had been single, not being in a relationship for a while, like proper relationship for a while.
Mm.
And that I made a conscious decision to just be single and not commit to anyone until I meet somebody that I really, really like, want to
Mm.
go that far with. So because I had that mindset, I knew what I was looking for. So
Absolutely.
those official stuff were not really something that I was bothered about,
Mm.
because like someone will say, "Oh, you've got tattoos. That's a problem. I can't do guys tattoos."
Mm.
But I like piercing. Like I've got piercing around my ears. You know what I mean? Like I might dress in a way that someone will also say, "Yeah, I'm not interested in that because that's too something else for me."
Yeah. It's
Whatever,
like it's
whatever.
it's not what it's not about what's on the outside. It's about the inside. So
Exactly. It's what's on the inside.
yeah.
So I asked him, "Oh, so what made you even start talking to me?" He was like, "Oh, it's because you looked you." It's funny because he was like, "You looked African." And I was like, and because obviously I had my afro on, you know, my afro, and I think I was wearing something which was like African print,
Mm.
and I'm dark skinned. I mean, this lighting me up, but we are properly, melanin dipped in melanin.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it was like, and he was like recently he was like, "Oh, you reminded me of Yasab." I was like, "But you've never met her before."
That's the image he had of her in his head. Leave him.
And during our conversations along the way, one day, I don't know even if you remember, you probably have been listening like
Exactly. He's like, what's she saying about
I,
me?
I don't even know if you remember, but I asked him, so who is your favorite like celebrity crush, right?
Mm.
And he was like, "Oh, Kelly Rowland." And I was like, "Oh," because I always felt like I kind of fall into the Kelly Rowland kind of, appearance in it. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this is all right then. It means you like my darkness,
Mm-hmm.
my dark skin. You like my sort of like athletic tone. You like my
Mm-hmm.
slimness. You know what I mean? You like my African appearance, So that was good. That was also something I thought, okay, if he had said I like Beyonce,
Yeah, you'd be like,
or I like or I like Jello, then
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, I don't fall
I'm
in there.
not Puerto Rican. This ain't Puerto Rican.
So, here's a whole motherland dipped in extra dose of motherland. So it's just little things along the way that made me feel like, yeah. And I felt like the relationship was easy. It's
Mm.
not we had issues, of course, just like normal.
Of
Sometimes
course, of course.
you just want to knock him out. I
Oh,
mean,
on a
it's
regular.
normal. Yeah,
Regular.
it's normal. But I felt like I could be myself. Like, honestly, right now, you guys are looking at me looking 10% looking cute. A few minutes ago, I was looking this cute. I felt like it was easy.
Mm.
I could be myself.
Mm.
I could speak my mind. When he irritates me, I wasn't shy or afraid to tell him how I felt because I felt like previous relationships, because I put them on a certain pedestal, or
Mm.
I had a certain level of respect for them. When I had issues or feeling uncomfortable, I wasn't comfortable to express myself as such. So,
Yeah.
but in this relationship, I respect the person. We
Mm.
have so much in common. Like, I don't know if okay, remember some years back, I think when we met first, I
Mm.
said to you, it seemed like he's a male
Male
version of
version
me.
of you. Yeah.
Yeah, because our personalities are so like the same. It's crazy. We are both antisocial.
I know that's right.
We are both antisocial, but we are both so like extroverted. Sometimes like we can be so excited and extrovert, and then sometimes we are both like quiet and
Oh
I
my
like we
God,
don't know
yeah, it's
nothing.
so
Like
true.
we're both hardworking. We
Mm.
both want the same things, because I noticed like we both wanted like stable environment, stable family, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
the things we both wanted were quite similar, you know what I mean,
Mm.
or the same in a lot of circumstances. So, and that's something I never really experienced.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's a little something about. I hope I haven't spoken too much.
No, you haven't. I'm sure people want to hear more even. They're probably like, oh, you've
Exactly.
tweaked their interest. They're like, tell us more,
Exactly.
Mon. Tell us more.
More, tell me more. No,
It's
wait
like,
for a different episode.
oh,
But
good. All right.
yeah.
So,
So
for my own.
yes, Mrs.
Do you know what? Okay. So, for
Mm-hmm.
my own, oh God, I don't even know where to start it because it's a weird story. All right. So, I met my significant other because my cousin introduced us.
Yeah.
And my cousin introduced us because he was supposed to be a groomsman at my cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
But our first conversation
Mm-hmm.
was before the wedding. So my cousin had a group chat for the wedding, and we were trying to decide on bridesmaids dresses and blah da da da. It started to get a little tense in the group. So I was like, you know what, I don't even want to be a bridesmaid anymore. So I left the group.
Yeah.
And
you left the group in there.
I left the group chat.
Obviously, but I didn't know you left the group.
I left the group chat.
That was some drama, boy.
I left the group chat, and then this boy comes and messages me, and I'm like, ugh. And I think the reason why I was like, ugh, is because before then, my cousin he'd been telling me about him for months. Like, oh, I really want you to meet this guy. I think he'll be really good for you, blah, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like hookups. I just don't do hookups. I don't like hookups.
Yeah, we really don't do.
I don't like hookups because if it goes wrong, then it's weird for both parties. Like, fair enough, you're my family, so you won't. But like, if something goes wrong, you'll feel like you're part of the reason. But it's just, I don't like hookups. It's just a weird situation. So I was like, I don't like hookups. So this is what I kept saying to my cousin, I don't like hookups. So then when he messaged me on the side after I'd come out of the group chat, I was thinking, oh, my cousin put you up to this.
Yeah.
But it turns out my cousin didn't put him up to it. He messaged me and he was like, oh, like, come back to the group, blah-de-da-de-da. Yeah. And I was like, no, it's okay. And he was like, oh, no, like, we're all friends. We all want to make the day nice. We all want to make the wedding nice, blah-de-da-de-da. And I was like, regardless of whether, you know, I'm a bridesmaid or not, I'm going to be there because that's my brother. So regardless, I'm going to be there. And he was like, oh, okay, so he's your bro. And I was like, yeah. So at that point, we ended the conversation. Yeah. And so then a few weeks later, we had the traditional engagement.
Yeah.
And so obviously as a groomsman, he was there. Now, at the time when he messaged me, he had his display picture up. But with me, because on like WhatsApp, if I don't have your number on my phone, you can't see my DP. So I saw his DP. Yeah. He didn't see me. And my cousin had been telling him about me, but he'd never shown him a picture as well. Same way my cousin had been telling me about him, but never shown me a picture. Yeah. But because of him messaging me that day, I knew what he looked like. So on the day I saw him and I was like, oh, and like my heart, I'm not going to be fluttered, but it did something. And I was like, oh, this isn't normal.
Skip, Abby.
My heart did something. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Okay. So throughout the day, I'm thinking, I still just don't like hookups, blah de da de da. So eventually, my cousin got us together, and he was like, "This is blah de da, this is blah de da. I think you two should talk." And then he walked off, and I was like, "Okay, bye." And then I walked away again.
Yeah, because sometimes we were quite stupid, didn't it? Like.
We were so childish. We were having a conversation
like a good little goal because I don't know, just for the sake of just go, like because we're so childish and just egotistical. I feel like.
I was just like, oh, okay, all right, bye. So I walked away again, and this was at the venue. So the traditional engagement was like in a hall or something, like a restaurant, and then we went back to my cousin's his wife to be's place, like her mum and dad's house. So there was like an after party. So then he managed to corner me. Actually, no, it's funny actually, because originally he cornered me. He was talking to me and my cousin, and I was still just like quiet. I was just like, And then I started to go home, and he was like, where are you going? Like, where are you going? He tried to run after me. And then unfortunately, or fortunately, who knows, I didn't leave my keys. I gave my keys to my parents. Yeah. So and they had gone out again. So when I got dropped home, I had no keys. So then I had to be brought back to the party and wait until they got home before I could
get in.
Before I could come home. So went back, and that's when he cornered me into a corner, and this guy was just talking. He said, nah, I'm not gonna stop talking until, you know, I've gotten through everything I need to say. He was like, oh, the reason why I didn't stop talking at that point was because I knew I needed the vim to keep going. I was like, oh my God.
You
And
know what? It's like them times, yeah.
yeah,
We were in there, heard all of that, been there, done that. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. That's what we've been saying.
exactly.
So it's like you have to come with extra words, like
Yeah,
not
you
extra.
got come, and he came with the vim.
He was like, let me just remind myself everything I learned in school about chemistry and biology.
He came with energy. Like I was like, wrong way, okay. And you know what? You know how you were like, oh, he told you, your other half told you everything that was like seen as bad about him. That's exactly what he did. He's like, me, I like to do this, I like to do that, I do this, I do that, I do this, I don't do that, I do this, this. I was just like, okay. He was like, are you gonna talk? I was like, no, I'm listening to you, innit? Carry on, keep talking. So from then, like a week later, we went for our first date, which was cute. We went to it was like I don't know what it's called, like a fake Nando's. It was like chick-wham, but it was cute. And I got tipsy. He carried me on his back, up and down.
Him.
Oh no, carried my handbag, carried me up and down until the tipsiness reduced so that I could drive home.
It was like first day, but I'm gonna be myself.
No, because their drinks were quite potent, and it was a good cocktail. You know, it's like $5. It was a $5.
Oh, if it's $5, mate, I'm definitely getting tipsy on $5. You get 3, 4 is £20. That's good.
I was like, this is quite potent. It was quite strong, or maybe had I not been drinking a lot around then? I don't know, but it was quite potent. It was quite. Yeah, I got tipsy. So anyway, he carried me on his back up and down.
Maybe you were excited as well. You know, sometimes when you're in a very excited mood, you can get tipsy like that.
Yeah, it boosts the tipsiness. So no, that's how we met, and that was our first date. And what I liked about him was I literally feel like this is why them two get along as much as we get along, if that makes sense, because it does feel like he is a male version of me, and it does feel like they are quite similar, if that makes sense. Like they're both like, oh yeah, they tell their mind. Jesus Christ, this sometimes just like, are you rude? But it's good, you know.
I'm like, you shouldn't say stuff like that.
I'm like, babe, can you say it like
it? I'm quite blunt as well. So
I'm like, babe, like, can you say it like nicer? And he's like, what do you want me to do? That's what it is. What, you want me to sugarcoat it? And I'm like, oh, Jesus is Lord. So, yeah.
Crazy.
Very, very blunt and Jesus, I feel like
I'm listening.
Yeah. And with him, I feel like I truly met my match in a good way. So
you know, one thing, like I always say this, there's some stuff like I always say, like, oh, we're supposed to get married in April last year. COVID took it.
Yep.
COVID took it away. So hopefully it's gonna come on sometime in the near future.
Amen.
I always say that I feel like he is, like, my partner is who I prayed to God for, because you know them times I was so part in the church. I was in the choir. I was fixing the tables and chairs for people to sit down. All the while I was praying, I was asking God, because I was like, I want somebody who is like, it's funny when I say someone will be like, oh, so you think he's God? He's not. No, he's human. Trust me, he is human.
Yeah, of course.
When I used to pray, say like, I want someone who is like a representation of God in my life, right? And not that a person has to be perfect, because it's not gonna happen.
Of course, never.
But somebody that, like, I feel like, you know, come rain or shine, even if I'm in my worst state, if there's one person I know I can count on 24/7, any time, is him. No. He might bake her a little bit, he might turn up his nose a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
he's still gonna do it.
Yeah, of
You get what
course.
I'm trying to
Of
say?
course.
Like he'll be like, "Oh, so now that's what you want me to do for you?" But
Yes,
next minute,
baby. Who you gonna say yes, baby? And then they're like,
oh, my phone is ringing. But
all
this
right.
stupid phone, okay, I've been able to silence it. 'Cause
Okay.
I keep going back to this one whenever a phone I'm using goes crazy. This one is, I don't know, probably like 7 years old.
Yeah, raw
And it's still
boy.
going. Yeah. So
Right.
it's like I feel like that's one person I can always
Always
count on.
count.
Even if he's at the end of the world, I
Mm,
know like I can count on him. And that's one thing that sometimes it's so difficult to meet guys
mm,
that you can count on, especially in this our little, modernized social media
absolutely.
environment.
Mm-hmm.
People will give you so many words and very little actions.
That's
So
true.
yeah, that's
That's a
one thing.
bar.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
next question. When did you
Um,
realize that, oh,
yeah.
what? This is the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with?
You know what? Like, when did I realize? I think whilst I was getting to know him, I realized he's such a kind person, very nice person. Like, you meet people who look good, but
Mm.
their attitude is just, you know what I mean? So to meet somebody who physically is tasty,
Mm. I'm done.
oh yeah, my mama ain't gonna watch this, so that's fine. Um, Hardworking, too hardworking. Sometimes I'm like, you need to slow down,
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
hardworking, so caring, so honest. Like, you know what? When I dress up and I don't look good, I don't need, if a girlfriend is
Anyone.
not there to
You
tell me,
don't need a mirror.
come on, tell me, mate, the lipstick ain't looking good. And you know the funny thing is, he's not even gonna say it in the nicest way. He's gonna be like, "So this lipstick you're wearing, where do you think you're taking it to?" And then you're like, ouch, that is rude. But thank you for letting me know. Because sometimes when people sugarcoat things, we
Mm.
get lied to and we don't want
Yeah,
that.
of course.
So caring, so hardworking. And one thing I noticed was like, and it's funny because over the years, people I've met who are like family members and friends of his, when they're talking about him, they will
Mm.
say, you know what, this guy would do anything for his family. And
Mm.
that's one thing I noticed about him during the
Mm.
time. So when we had issues, and
Mm.
you know me, you know that I used to know I don't take nonsense. Like any guy I've ever dated, and they'll be like, this girl, yeah. I mean, I've had male friends say to me, why do you act like a man? Because I wouldn't take their bull, or
Yeah.
because I know their bull. So they're like, you're just like one of the guys.
Yeah.
Or they will say, you need to relax, you need to calm down. You won't get a man. Like I've had all these things said to me.
Mm.
Because I'm like, with me, yeah, I won't even wait for you to offend me twice. The first one,
Yeah.
right? Like even my brother used to ask me. He was like, or is it you who is not good, or the men? Because the things that ideally you're
Mm.
supposed to overlook and forgive and just move on,
Mm.
like, you did that. Nope, you are done. So I was like that.
Mm.
But I realized that when we had issues, I was willing to work it out.
Yeah.
And when we had issues, it's like I was just like, oh, you just need to cool down. Like
Yeah.
I didn't take so many things too serious. I was very forgiving. I was very relaxed about things.
Mm.
Things does not stress me as much. Like, you date somebody and when you call them, they don't answer, you're like, oh my god, what's happening? Probably another person. I never felt like that in any way or form. So I was just like, this is very good. It's
Mm.
different from what I'm used to.
Exactly.
And I feel like, I always say to people, right, we live in the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're African or whatever, this is the Western world scenario. I
Mm-hmm.
always say here in the West, we have to work hard to survive or to become successful. So, you know, when you go to Africa, right, and they're looking at, oh, wife material, if there's anything like wife material, they'll say, oh, she has to be able to cook, clean, respectful, basically serve the parents, bow when you talk. I ain't gonna bow. Bow when you talk and all of that. That's the African perception of wife material.
Yeah.
This is my perception of a Western wife material. She's hardworking, she's dedicated, she's supportive, she's caring, she's ambitious. And that goes for men. So I always say, if you meet a guy or a woman in the West and the person does not cook to the best of their ability, but they are hardworking, you need to be looking at that, because you both got bills to pay. You get what I mean? And the person can be the most respectful person and bow when you talk. But when at the end of the month you can't pay the bills, the bowing ain't gonna be exciting to you.
Bowing ain't gonna pay my bills.
Bowing ain't gonna pay the bills.
Bowing ain't gonna clean the house. Bowing ain't gonna put food on the table.
Exactly. Because, you know, in Africa, marriage is more for the family and things like that. In the West, when you're in the West, that's when you realize marriage is really like a business contract. You know what I mean? Yeah, love and all of that together, but the foundation of it is so both people can achieve what their aims are together.
Amen.
So exactly. So then, and achieving my aims to do with becoming successful in whether your health, financially, family-wise, whatever your idea of success is. So if you're meeting a woman who can cook, but she's not working, your $2,000 ain't gonna pay the bills and make you all go on the holidays you all want to go. So you are gonna be miserable, living miserable together with her bowing and saying, hi darling. So sometimes we just have to be realistic, innit? We have to try to realize that different environments really like requires different personalities or different attributes. So when you find that one person who is hardworking, supportive, ambitious, not stingy, I feel like you got it. Obviously, if the person is abusive and stuff like that, that's a whole different spectrum. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about just the basics. You know what I mean? If you find someone like that, you need to really like study the person and get to know how it's gonna work. Because I want to be successful, so I need a man who's hardworking. You know,
and wants to be successful as well. Because
So
there are some hardworking people out there, but they don't really want to be successful. They don't want to go anywhere. So
which is waste of hard work, isn't it? Exactly. What's the point of working hard and just not be ambitious or aim for? Exactly. So yeah. So I saw all these traits with him, and I realized that, and I don't like comparing like people, relationships and stuff, but I will look at people I've dated who probably had better career opportunity prospects, you know what I mean? More money. And I was like, they really don't match up at all. Because there are other traits which are very important. The fact that you have more money today, but you are not ambitious or you are not caring, you know, it's not gonna work. Absolutely. So I saw all those positive traits and I was able to forgive. So I'm sure the same way he was able to forgive me with some things I did. We were able to overlook some of the things and realize that people go through emotional roller coasters here and there. Sometimes we will say things and do things that we don't necessarily mean, but we need to be able to work it out. Like we will talk, you know, we'll talk about everything. And he spoke to, the first time he spoke to my mom, and I spoke, like, my mom called, he was like, oh, he's a very nice guy. And I was thinking it's just conversation. But my mom, she's an adult, she's grown, so she could tell. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anyone in my family who meets him and friends are like, he's a very nice guy. And it's funny because they make him seem like such a horrible person. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm a nice person too. Like, you know. So so I hope I answered that question because I was speaking a lot. But so what about you? Makes my heart skip a bit.
You need to calm down. Okay, so when I realized he was the one, so shortly after we'd been dating, I went on holiday.
Yeah.
I went to Ghana.
Yeah.
Whilst I was out there, he even got me to meet his mum, but that's another, or his family. That's another discussion for another day. But
yeah.
Yeah. So whilst I was out there, obviously we'd been talking on the phone, video calls, and all of that. But obviously, I didn't realize I'd missed him so much. Like, even if I didn't speak to him in like the evening, I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, if we had bad reception, because obviously in Ghana the reception isn't great, so I would have like connecting, and be going all around the house trying to get better reception. That's how badly I wanted to talk to him. And it was like, oh God, it's like this girl is gone. She gone. But then so I think a few days before I was about to leave Ghana, he was like, have you packed your stuff? He was like, pack your stuff so I know you're coming back to me. I was like, really? He's like, come on, pack your stuff. He was like, pack your stuff. I'm giving you like an hour to pack your stuff and like send me a picture so I know that you're coming back to me. I was just like, oh, this is cute. So I did it. The way I packed, I was like, I think I packed in half an hour instead of the hour he gave me. I sent him the picture and he was like, oh, he's like, yeah, now I know that you're coming back to me. So I was just like, yeah. And then, so when we came back, I introduced him to my parents, and when he left, like my dad was like, oh, you could tell that this one, you know, he has sense, you know, he talks well, he could tell that he's from a good background, blah de da de da. And according to my mum, he did not stop talking about him for the rest of the night. Like, even in bed, she was like, okay, it's enough. We get it. He's a good one. He's a nice one. We get it. Yeah. And trust me, the one before that, my dad was like, so it was refreshing to hear that from it was refreshing to hear that from like my mum saying, oh yeah, your dad likes this one. Like, I think he's a keeper. It was like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is good.
I think he's the keeper too, because I've been keeping him.
You know. I was like, okay. So I can keep him. But I think, I don't know, it was just like, I think him meeting the parents solidified it for me. But I think from when I was in Ghana that I was trying, like, I'm running all over the house trying to find connection for this man. That was when I was like, oh, raw, like,
that's peak,
really, you know, I must really like this guy. And also when I came back from Ghana, we went to my niece's birthday party, and it was just seeing him with like my nieces. My nieces are near and dear to my heart. They're like my first baby. And seeing how he was with them, I was just like, wow, like, yeah, no, this one I think is a special one. And he confirmed.
I think, you know what, when you meet that person, I think it's so easy, isn't it?
So easy.
It's so easy. It's like,
easy, and sometimes you're like,
when you're growing up,
it's easy.
Like, when you're growing up, you don't know that. You don't know these things, innit? So you try to do the struggle love, innit? Like,
struggle, like, Jesus. Love is not pain. Like, literally, love is not pain. Love should not be painful. Like, for you younger people out there, pain is love is a lie. I love Ja Rule, my G, my one of my favorites. But pain is love is not real. Love should not be painful. Struggle love is
sometimes upsetting, but pain is a whole different level, because pain is extreme, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, yeah. So after talking about all these lovely love stories, which obviously we left out the bad stuff along the way, because there's always issues. It's work. Because sometimes I feel like I've never put work in any relationship as much as I put in this relationship, and that's because I genuinely know the person's right for me, so I want it to work, and vice versa. Because if I was the only one putting work,
it
it
won't work.
wouldn't be working.
Exactly.
Exactly. So let's dip into this Valentine stuff.
Yes.
It's quarantine Valentine. I'm going to
Yes.
quarantine. Quarantine Valentine. Fortunately, that's what we are in. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, it's I don't even know this Valentine. Like, he's like even my birthday, because obviously my birthday is a day before
Day before
Valentine. So
Valentine's Day.
usually I get so excited because I'm looking for the two. I'm looking for the two present, the two, the proper expensive outing because it's two in one. So
Yeah.
if it was supposed to be 50 quid, it's times two, so that's 100. So I'm getting more than. But this year he's like we probably, it's funny because when we have a little one around as well, it's so difficult to do stuff.
That's
like,
true.
I personally, we haven't even planned anything. That's for sure. It's shameful to say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we haven't planned anything. Because you know what? We live together. We are together. We have a baby together. We are happy together.
Yeah.
We are quarantining together. So I'm basically waiting for the day to come because I know there probably ain't gonna be no roses on the floor on the ground for me because somebody is probably gonna be eating it.
In it, pick it up and choke on it.
Exactly. So someone's gonna and because of parenting, you can't take the child to, somewhere nanny or whatever, so you can have that time together. So it's not of like family time this year. We're just gonna be at home, just eat, watch TV, talk, just spend quality time together. And I think appreciate what we have a little bit more and not necessarily look at the materialistic stuff. It's nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he probably watched this, so I'm just gonna say I'll probably get him something. Whilst I wait for my thing.
She's like, I'll be waiting.
So that obviously that one is basic, innit? But even, I think before I used to proper like hold it up here, like it's Valentine. Like, where's my present?
Where's
the dinner?
Where's my flowers? Where's my chocolates? Where's my champagne?
But I feel like when you get into a certain space, every day is Valentine.
Of course.
Today we're talking about birthday. He was like, every day is your birthday. Anyway, I was like, don't use that slogan. This day is extra special. Every day is Valentine. When you are with somebody who you can rely on, who cares about you, who supports you. So I feel like this year, obviously, because of COVID, is going to be a tough one for so many people. And people are not going to be able to, do the stuff they would have loved to do. But that shouldn't stop you from spending quality time together. Watch a romantic movie, do something, with that. Because if you've got kids at home, you are stuck with them because no nanny is going to take any child. So the hotels are all closed, my darling. So you can't get that petals, rose flowers on the bed. That's the hard thing. If the person can do that for you in your bedroom, that's fine. But even that, you still have to make sure the 1-year-old is asleep before you get your freckles.
Exactly.
This is very much in between.
This with children around is hard.
It's hard. It is really hard. And you don't know it until you get in there and you start to experience it. But spending quality time, listening to each other, just talk, just be yourself, enjoy the time and the space. That's all I'm looking forward to do. And obviously opening my little present.
I thought you were about to say your legs. I was going to be like, too much info.
Yeah, who knows? That might happen along the line, but oh well, that's life. Mate, we have a child.
Yes, clearly.
So, and the podcast says motherhood and beyond. So we on the beyond level right now.
Really beyond. Okay. So yeah, And now that you said the rose petals things, because I had thought about doing the rose petals, but now that you said the boy like eats choke on it, that's really registered because this boy he puts everything in his mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
my man,
really.
he would definitely be eating that. He
You
eats
go
the
eat
white.
that and choke on it, and then where's your Valentine's? You're spending it at A&E. So boy, I'm gonna
This
have
boy
to
literally takes the white and he takes one out
one
and
out.
he eats it.
Yes.
He eats
What is that?
Why? So that rose petals will be a very good looking chocolate.
Oh my goodness.
So
Bit
it's just not
like ate through my chocolate wrapper the other day. He just
yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So
yes, I'm gonna X the roses. But other people you can do it if you've got children who are a little bit older and
older, yes.
don't.
Or you've got like family around who can take them for you.
Yeah,
you know
if
what I mean?
you're in a support bubble. If you have your support bubble,
yes,
wait,
exactly.
actually, now that you said that, we have a support bubble, so maybe I could, use that. But
yeah, exactly. I don't have a support bubble as such because obviously I move away from
everyone. Exactly.
I mean, I can't drop that boy off and come and get my freak on and go back to pick him up. That is some less wasted freak.
Okay, if you do that, then you clearly are, really needing to get your freak on because that's a long drive. That way.
If hotels were open, then you can do it closer to the place. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't have that luxury. So I'm hoping to just run its course.
Exactly.
So we can have our lights and our petals and everything, and our candles. Imagine lighting up candles in this house with this boy.
Little boy. Jesus. You might have to do it like, so for me, Jay sleeps around like 7 or 8. So maybe from 9 o'clock I can do that.
This boy, lately, he's been punishing me with the sleep. You can see my eyes, guys. My eyes are not this lazy. Just so you guys know, I've got very big round eyes. But today, I look like lazy eye. My eyes are not this lazy. Last night, I had less than 3 hours sleep.
Yep. The joys of motherhood.
Yes. I was hoping today he would sleep early. In the afternoon, he would nap early. He decided to nap at 4 or something, 4:30. Who does that? And we were scheduled to record around like 2.
Yeah.
So we delayed 2 hours. So right now, my eyes, I'm basically sleeping. I'm not lazy.
I'm sleeping, but I'm awake.
Yes. So some of the stuff I'm saying here, I'm not even because I'm asleep in my thoughts. That's for real. So don't watch this video and go and be like, oh, she's got such lazy eyes. No. I just got
I need to tell y'all I ain't got no lazy eye. I don't think I got lazy.
No. It's been a very long night, dragged into a long day. So
good. All right, let's wrap it up.
All those who are planning the rose petals and dookie and freaky tonight. Motherhood.
She said motherhood. She basically said,
think about it. It's a blessing.
Yes, protect yourselves.
Yes.
Oh God. For those of you who may be looking for ideas on what to buy your other half, we would suggest like fragrances, flowers, chocolates, the stuff that women like. And it can go for a man as well. I mean, men eat chocolate. They probably won't do much with the flowers, but fragrances, obviously, they're going to like that. And speaking of fragrances, we would recommend that you go to Sweet Scents One on Instagram. They have a special Valentine's Day offer happening with their Pure collection for her
Yeah.
and for him as well, 20% off their Valentine's Day pure perfumes. And not only will you love the fragrances, you also have the possibility of prizes. So just be sure to check them out. That's Sweet Sense One on Instagram.
One is the number one.
One, yes. I'll put it on the at the bottom of the screen so y'all can
I mean, I
check
use
it out.
perfume from there, and I love perfumes. I'm
Yeah,
kind of obsessed with perfume, and I recommend it. It's
yeah.
great. Yeah,
Like it's it's
yeah, good
basically
value.
exactly it's premier fragrances at
Yeah,
discounted prices, guys.
prices.
And
Yeah.
when I tell you, it's amazing. They smell like the same.
Amazing.
They are perfect. They are
Yeah.
amazing. You'll love it. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
premier fragrances, but at discount prices. So, yeah, check it out. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Mom, wrap it up for us.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope we kind of inspired some love in your life. And if you've met that special someone, congratulations. Just treat the relationship with TLC, but speak your mind. Honesty in love. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to we will just wish you happy Valentine's
Day.
in
Yeah.
yeah, happy Valentine's Day in advance. So um we hope you have a good Valentine. Spend quality time with your loved ones, not just partners and family, friends, whoever is around to keep you that company this time because it's hard time. So we all need somebody around.
Absolutely.
And yeah, don't forget to follow us on all our socials. It's Motherhood and Beyond Podcast. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Send us your feedback, requests, DMs, everything. We are open and want to listen. We are obviously on YouTube now since you're watching, or
Yes.
if you're
Yes.
listening,
Watching us,
you can watch
listening,
us on
watching.
YouTube. Forgive all these looks. We all right. Corona lockdown, the Afro is doing its own business. We're trying to put things together, and we just started our YouTube channel, so obviously our lighting and setup is not the best,
Yeah,
but
we're gonna work on that.
yeah, we're coming with big stuff.
We're coming, honey. We're coming.
Yeah, we will be here again in 2 weeks' time. Remember, every 2 weeks it's Motherhood and Beyond podcast. Thank you and bye.
Bye.